Alright, today we're going to be talking about graphing lines. Okay, there's 3 steps that we use when we graph lines. First step, plot the y-intercept. Step number 2, use the slope-intercept form and count the rise over run. Step 3, draw the line connecting the 2 points that you have from step 1 and step 2. And those 3 steps is what we need to use. When we practice graphing, we're going to get into how to find the slope in the y-intercept. So given an equation, we need to first, this is in standard form, we need to put this in slope-intercept form. So we need to solve for y. It's a 2-step equation. We need to solve for y by removing this part that's being subtracted to the 2y and undo it by doing the opposite. So I do the opposite here, add 8x. To both
May I have your attention, please, Mr. Richardson, if you're in the building, please report to the front office. Mr. Richardson, if you're in the building, please report to the front office.
When we do that, my 8x is canceled, bring down the whole negative 2y. And again, I write the 8x in front of my 2y because I want my x variable to go first. Step number 2, divide by the negative 2 in front of my y. When I divide by negative 2, I'm left with 1y equal to 8 divided by negative 2, which is negative 4. That simplifies. 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Now this is in slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. So as you can see, if I write y equals mx plus b right underneath, I can see what is the number in front of my x. It is negative 4. That's my m. My b is going to be negative 5, because that's where it is on the b spot. When I count rise over run, I can always take a whole number and make it a fraction by putting a 1 underneath it. So now I have a rise over a run. That will help me out when I go to graph lines. Okay? That's the first example. My second example, same thing. I have a standard form. I need to change it to slope-intercept form. Solving for y. So 5x minus 2y equals 6. I have something subtracted from my 5x. I don't want that in front of my 2y, so I'm going to subtract this by doing the opposite. Because it's a positive 5x, I need to subtract it. That way I can say 5x minus 5x is 0. I can cancel that out. I bring down the negative 2y. 6 minus 5x, I want my negative 5x. Remember yesterday we wrote the note, always keep your sign in front, plus 6. And then I divide by the negative 2. That leaves me with y equals my signs are the same here, so it's going to be a positive 5 halves x minus 3. 6 divided by negative 2, my signs are different, it's a negative 3. My slope is a positive 5 halves, and my y-intercept is negative 3. You need to be able to see what is your slope, what is your y-intercept when you go to graph. If you don't know your difference between your slope and your y-intercept, you won't be able to graph the 2 lines. Or the 2 points and be able to connect your dot to form a line. Okay? So those are how you do solving from standard to slope-intercept, and then pulling out your slope and your y-intercept. So now we're going to practice graphing using the slope-intercept form of an equation. Alright, so given, I know you probably can't see this, given 2x plus 3y equal to 4, we're going to graph that using these 3 steps. But before we can do that, we need to change this to slope-intercept form. So I'm going to change this just like I did in the previous 2 examples. I'm going to get y by itself. I'm going to solve for y. It's a 2-step equation. First step is undo the addition or subtraction. Okay? I have 2x. I want to undo that by subtracting. So we'll take 2x away from both things. Bring down the 3y, because 2x minus 2x is 0, equal to negative 2x plus 4, because I want my signs to stay in front. The 2x had a negative in front of it, so I'm going to keep it there. And then my second step is to undo the multiplication for division. I'm going to undo the multiplication by dividing to get y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4 over 3. Okay? My y-intercept. Plot my y-intercept. If I can see my m and my b, it will help me out answering doing these 3 steps. My first part is my m is negative thirds, my B is 4/3. So plot your y-intercept. B equals 4/3. So if I go to my graph, 4/3, if I think about that, it's going to be greater than 1, because if I divide 4 by 3, 3 goes into 4 one time. I'm going to do, it's 1 1/3. So I'm going to go to the right, or I'm going to go up, because it's a positive. We're going on the y-axis here. I'm going to go up 1, and just a little bit past that to my 4/3, or 1 1/3. And then I'm going to use my slope, which is rise over run. It is -2/3. I'm going to go down 2, so there's 1, 2, because I have -2, so that's my rise, I go down. And then I run 3, 1, 2, 3, and you plot your point. Step 3, connect the points to form a line. So then I just take my 2 points and draw a line through it the best you can. Make sure you have your arrows on the end, that way you know it's a line, not a line segment. Okay? So before you can graph, you need to change it to slope-intercept. Know what your slope is, know what your y-intercept is. Start with your y-intercept, graph rise over run, then connect your 2 points. That's how you graph a line. All right? From here, we're going to do one more example. Changing slope-intercept, which is standard to slope-intercept, and then graphing it. Okay? So now I have -3x plus 4y equal to 8. Again, I want to solve for y. So to do that, I'm going to undo the addition or subtraction. I have something being added to the 4y. I'm going to undo it by doing the opposite, which is a positive 3x to both sides. Bring down my 4y. 3x plus 8 is what I have left because they were both positive. Now I undo the multiplication by dividing. 4 divided by 4 is 1, equal to 3/4 x plus 8 divided by 4 is 2. So
This is a friendly reminder that homecoming applications are due today between 2 and 5. This is a friendly reminder that homecoming applications are due today between 2 and 5
my B
in room
is 2.
226E.
Talk over
If you
another
are running
math
for
here.
homecoming king,
I'm going to start by
queen, or
plotting my
homecoming prince or
y-intercept.
princess, please submit your applications today in room 226E. Thank you.
Okay, start with my y-intercept. My B is 2. So I go on the y-axis, I go up 1, 2, plot that point. Then I look at my slope. My slope is 3/4. Rise over run. So I'm going to rise 3, 1, 2, 3, and run 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put a dot right there. And then I'm going to connect the 2 points. Like so. That is my line. That's how I graph the line, following those 3 steps. Once you change it to slope-intercept form, know what your slope and know what your y-intercept is. Start with your y-intercept, graph your rise over run, and connect your dots. Okay? That's how you graph a line given standard form and changing it to slope-intercept form. Now, if it's already in slope-intercept form, you don't have to do this math. You don't have to solve the equation. All you have to do is say, okay, my slope is this, my y-intercept is here. I start with my y-intercept and graph rise over run. What you are going to do now is simply the same thing I just did. Okay? You have 8x minus 6y equal to 12 for your first line. Then you're going to do -3x plus 5y equal to 10 for your second line. Now when you go to graph, simply draw 2 lines. You don't have to do all the boxes. Just draw 2 lines. Show me that if you're counting up, you're going up 1, 2, 3, 4, however long you have to go. And when you go right, show me the dots that you're counting. That way I can see that you went rise over run. If I don't see dots on your paper or dashes to see that you counted, I don't think all you did was plot 2 points. I don't see the math in which you're rising or running. Make sure I can see that you did rise over run for each of your lines. Again, don't draw the whole boxes. Just draw 2 axes, your x and y axis. That will be sufficient. And then show me that you did rise over run by counting with the dots. Make sure I see your dots and then connect your 2 points to show your line. Okay? So that's what I want you to do right now on your own.